Hi Lisa, I wanted to show you this is how I cook bacon now. So we're having bacon cheeseburgers for dinner, and yes, it's late and I'm running late, and I've set the stove to 400 degrees. It's preheating, and then I'm going to pop these puppies in there. This is my number 10 Lodge skillet. It's from like 1915 or something like that. That's one of the ones that I refurbished or restored. For about 20 minutes I'll put it in there, and then I'll let you see how it looks. Okay, Lisa, just a second. Alexa, stop. So here's our bacon. I just took it out of the oven, and actually I typically don't flip it, but this is going to need another minute or two, but I want to see if it's sticking. And no sticking here. Let's see if the other piece is stuck. Nope, no sticking. So this piece was much thinner than the other pieces, so it's just about done. The one thing about cooking in the oven is you have no, you don't have any problem with it getting too hot in the center or anything like that with this. If you don't give your pan enough time to heat evenly before you put your bacon in, because sometimes that happens too. If it gets, if you put your bacon in before the pan gets a chance to get the heat evenly distributed, because you know, it's not instant. Your cast iron holds its heat very well once it gets hot, but the problem is that you have to give it a moment to let it get heated up throughout the whole thing. So that is an issue. I'm almost tempted to take this piece out, but Jeff likes this bacon a little bit crispier, so I'm going to put this in, pop this in here for another minute or so. But anyway, turned out pretty well. So I snuck back in 1 minute, and I took out the little piece I was afraid, and then I put this one back in there, these back in there, because Jeff wanted his more crispy. But the problem was not necessarily this method. I did change to the oven method, but at the same time, this is a different brand of bacon, and it's extra thick hickory smoked. So it's also the bacon. It's not going to be as crisp as the thinner Walmart brand bacon that I was getting him. But anyway, I got this on sale for like $3 a pound, $2.97 a pound. But there we go, no sticking. Now, I am going to show you, I'm going to make a video later and show you how to clean. I've stacked up a few skillets. I'm going to show you different levels of cleaning, but I'm going to have to do that later. So I decided this morning I would try a different way of cooking the bacon to test this pan out again, although it's been tested time and time again, and I'm very satisfied with the no sticking. But this is bacon fried on top of the oven. I've got biscuits in the oven this morning, but this I'm cooking slow and slow. As you can see, it's been in there for a few minutes. It's just about time to turn over. This is a large pan. This is a 12-inch number 10 Lodge pan. And you can see it looks like the center one is getting done more quicker. And that's usually it. It was a cold pan when I started. And so it does take a while for the whole pan to heat up. But I put the bacon in there cold. And the thing about the top part is that you have to turn the bacon. And I also rotate the pieces as well. I don't have my stand this morning, so I'm trying to do this with one hand. So I usually rotate these pieces. Now, the bacon isn't sticking, but I will concur with you. That doesn't mean that the little sugars in the bacon doesn't stick to the pan when I go to clean. But I usually use kosher salt. I usually can get away with using kosher salt. Get it a little warm and use kosher salt and scrub it with a paper towel. And I save my bacon grease now. I become my grandma. But you have this little mason jar with a lid that I usually pour my bacon grease in. And I'll use it to fry up my potatoes or my eggs or whatever. Yes, I'm doing that now. So until my next visit, and the doctor says, stop using bacon grease to fry your stuff. So anyway, we will give this a few minutes and we'll come back. Okay, my bacon is just about done. Jeff likes his bacon extra crispy. So I will say that the on the top stove method is easier to get your bacon crispier than in the oven. Even with these thicker piece bacons, this is a thick cut hickory smoked bacon. Same as the one that I had in the oven last night for the bacon cheeseburgers. It's not often that we have bacon back to back, but I wanted to actually do this for the video, so I decided to have bacon this morning as well. So it's almost done. I'm going to take these up and I'm going to put them on a paper towel, and then I'm going to use a little bit of that grease to make some gravy because I have biscuits, and we're going to have bacon, biscuits, and gravy this morning. I wanted to show you real quick. I hadn't even gotten finished up breakfast. I want to fry Jeff a couple of eggs, but other than that, it's done. But while this pan was still warm, this was the bacon pan. I poured the bacon out. I used some of it to make the gravy. I used a little bit of it. I'm going to fry up his eggs there. This is a weekend breakfast. We don't normally have this on weekdays, but he's off today. But anyway, I wiped it, then I wiped it with paper towel. Of course, that did not get the stuff, the little sugar grease that was actually stuck to the bottom of the pan, but this did. I love this brush. I wanted to show you this. This one's a Lodge brand, but I know you can get off brands of these. I believe these are nylon bristles, but I can see that it's taken it off, and so and you can tell that it's picked up stuff because this is the kosher salt, and you can tell that it's turned from white to brown, so it's absorbed the grease that I picked up. And then I'm going to just brush this out into the trash, and then I'm going to wipe it down again with a paper towel. I probably will not have to touch up this pan or oil this pan or anything when I go to stow it, because it will take care of itself. So that's the cleanup after the bacon this morning. Okay, I just want to show you one last shot of the pan. I knocked out the salt, a little bit of it left, and then I wiped it down with a paper towel, and it's a little shinier than I would like, so I'm probably going to wipe it out one more time with another paper towel. You kind of want a dull shine. That's a little shinier because you don't want to leave any grease. It's warm, so the grease there has actually kind of seeped into the pores a bit there, and that's helping with the seasoning. Every time you use this pan, it helps with the seasoning, especially with anything that has a high fat content like bacon. Starches are good too. I've cooked a lot of potatoes. Okay, so I thought I would finish this video with talking a few minutes about maintenance and cleaning and what I do, because I know that 10 seconds into this video, Lisa is cussing, who I made this video specifically for. Now, getting these pans to where they are now, where I have a pretty easy maintenance regime with them, was not instant by any means. And I want to go through some of my pans that I have here. This pan is a number 10 Lodge. It's an antique pan, and it doesn't stick. It was one of the ones that I cooked the bacon in 2 ways, in the oven and on top. But that wasn't the case when I first restored it. But I just kept at it. And actually, you will see some discoloration here. And I actually think this pan may actually have some fire damage to it, because I can't seem to get this coloring to change, even with my seasoning. And this has been through the seasoning a few times. And what I mean by fire damage is that someone at one point tried to clean this pan in a fire, and it could have caused some damage. which means that if that is the case, and if I'm right, and there's fire damage here, it's never, the seasoning may never stick to the top part of this. But fortunately, the seasoning took to the bottom of it. So, and that's why, you know, I belong to a group, and they do not recommend, in fact, you're not even allowed to talk about using fire to clean, throwing things in the fire. I mean, there was a time when that was the best course that people had to clean their cast iron, but now we have other means that is better for cast iron. Now, over here, you don't have the red discoloring like that, but there's another number 9 lodge. Oh, I corrected I will correct myself on the video. This lodge is dated for 1930. The 1930 and 1940 is when this lodge was cast. Now, I'm going to talk about my grandmother's pan. Now, oh, you'll see this bottom is very smooth. I've gotten this bottom very smooth. The lodge over here, the number 9, it has gotten very smooth over time. And then this is my grandmother's pan. This is what has really started me into the whole cast iron obsession that I have here. And I haven't gotten this pan to where I want. But this pan is over 115 years old. This is an Erie number 7. And this pan dates 1905 to 1907 was when it was cast. And the bottom is not smooth as I would like it. It still has kind of a little bit of a rough texture on the bottom of it. Not as smooth as I would like it to be, but I'm still working with that. But I'll just keep working with it. But oh my gosh, this one, I think I have the video up where it was just, I called it barnacles, but it had the carbon buildup on the back. I mean, you couldn't even see the back of it. So that's come a long way. And then here's another one. This is a number 5. This is a BSR pan that I also restored. I got this at a flea market. I mean, it was just nothing but rust. I mean, it was totally caked in rust. Beautiful pan. I love the way it handles. I cook a lot of cornbread in this too. Cornbread and eggs. I rambled a little bit here, but I want to talk about a few of the things that I now use to clean these pans with. First of all, if I can get away with it, I just wipe them down when I get done cooking. So I either use paper towels, or I have a bunch of old, well, they were new when I bought them, but I used them when I was restoring my pans. So they're all stained up, but this isn't actually dirty. These are just stains. But I washed them in borax and soap and a little bit of bleach. So, and I use these two to kind of cut down on the amount of paper towels I use. So if I can get away with wiping them down, I'll do that. The next step is I use kosher salt. If that step doesn't work, then I use heat and I put kosher salt in the pan, and then I scrub it with a paper towel, or this is my favorite tool right here. This is this one has to this in particular one is made by Lodge, but I believe you can get an off-brand one. But these are a little, I believe these are nylon bristles. This is the best tool. You've got to get this tool. If you have cast iron, you have to have these little tools for cleaning. So, and then you can see the kosher salt. It'll turn white to the dark when it starts to pick up your grease and oil. And then for stuff that won't, if this can't get it, I've got a little scraper. This one says Lodge, but there's lots of off-brand scrapers out there you can use. You can use that to scrub with. And I use a couple of different kinds of paper towels. But when you have a rough surface pan, I definitely, and especially at the beginning when I started working, I used the Blue Shop paper towels because it helps to keep less residue on your pan. So I just wanted to go over a couple of little things when cleaning, and just stick with it. Fry some potatoes in those pans, Lisa. You'll get there.